I'm starting a real-life multi-club save. But how does that work, you ask? Well, a newly formed club, Sporting Club Jacksonville, or Sporting Jacks, are currently negotiating to invest in my boyhood club of 13 years, Lyn 1896. So now we have 2 clubs, but ideally it's at least 3. That's already been solved though, as Sporting Jacks already have a tight partnership with South African club Ubuntu Cape Town. So this is the perfect fit for a multi-club save, where the end goal has to be world domination, right? It's time to meet the managers of each club, and of course the squads. As it's my boyhood club, I'll be managing Lyn 1896 as the Småen.
It's just like that.
As for the squad of Lyn, they have quite a decent squad, which includes key players like centre-backs Sel and Silla, as well as attackers Bjørn Tvedt Olsen and Hellum. And here's me. It's kind of funny. I'm in the actual base game as a player. Well, let me know if you want to see an agent video where I'm the agent for myself. Sporting Jacks will have the LeBron James of soccer's distant relative Christian Pulisic as their manager.
Like the LeBron James of soccer? Definitely.
As for the squad, I have no idea who's good and not. Sporting Jacks haven't actually played a season of football yet, so they don't have a squad IRL. So I just picked free agents with a bit of a lower CA than the league average when I made a database. The final man stepping up is Sifiwe Shabalala Småen, named after the legend the opening scorer of the 2010 World Cup. He'll be trying to bring some success to Ubuntu Cape Town. As for the squad, I once again don't really have an idea of who's good and not, but it looks like we have 4 really good players, and otherwise a pretty average squad. Now let's see if we can get to grips with managing not just 1, but 3 teams. We got off to a great start, as Solberg Nilsen, our best left back at Lyn, came into my office a literal day into the save to say he's considering his options. Anyway, we didn't do a lot in the summer window at Lyn. We sold Bjørn Tvedt Olsen to Watford for 100k, as he would have got pissed if I declined. And then we only brought 1 player in, a midfielder in Jake Forster-Kaski. At Sporting Jacks, we didn't really bring in anyone of real quality, since our squad was surprisingly good with a lot of young talents already. But the same can't be said about the Ubuntu squad. I mean, just look at this list of transfers we brought in throughout the season. Kept signing new players to just continue improving the squad. Either way, this was how the team looked ahead of the season start in October. The season starts in October. Well, let's go back to Sporting Jackson Lyn then. By the way, we're gonna be playing with the same system at all 3 clubs to keep the same identity, and also make it easier to move players between the clubs. So we'll be playing with slight variations of this 4-2-2 system. Before we start, I'll just say that I've downloaded a database which turns the US football system into an actual pyramid with promotion and relegation. Shout out to Junior who's made it, and you can find it on FM Scout. And finally, the databases which I've made for all 3 clubs are available to my members here on YouTube. So if you want to try this for yourself, make sure to check it out. This is the Lyn squad I'm sending out for our opening game away to Stabæk. We've got Pedersen in net, Haugen and Nilsen as fullbacks, and Silla and Sel in the middle of the fence. We then have Fredriksen and Bydal as the central players, Hill and Breistøl out wide, and finally Alassane Young and Hellum up top. We concede 10 minutes in. Brilliant. 4 minutes later though, Hilen scores to equalize. Bydal then decided to concede a pen, but Pedersen saves it. 3 goals came before halftime, with Stabæk taking the lead once again, before we hit back with 2 in quick succession through our 2 Senegalese men. Hellum then made it 4-2 in the 61st. Before they got one back 10 minutes later. But we held on to win our opening game in Norway. We now move on to our opening game in the States, where we're facing Milwaukee Wave. This is the Sporting Jack squad heading into battle. Walker, Rosales, Erlandsen, Benalcazar and Tingy make up the back 5. Rodriguez, Resende, Regen Cervantes and Redzic in the middle and out wide, and finally Hurtado and 16-year-old Ruben Ramos up top. This game was quite a lot easier than Lyn's. We took the lead 17 minutes in, before they equalized 10 minutes later. We then scored straight from kickoff through our Regen Cervantes, before Resende got his second before the break. They got one back shortly after the break, before Redzic scored this pen to make it a 4-2 win on opening day. The next few games were easy pickings, as we beat Chicago House 3-0 with Hurtado getting a brace, El Paso 4-2 as Ruben Ramos got his first of the season. Club de Lyon 2-1 thanks to goals from Cervantes and Ramos again. And finally both Queensborough and Richmond kickers 4-0 as Hurtado got another 3 goals across those 2 games.
Please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore.
As for Lyn, it did start in the same way, as we beat Kongsvinger 3-0 with Hellum getting a brace. We then beat Raufoss 2-1 as our 2 centre-backs got 1 each. But then it all came crashing down. We lost 2-1 to Odd completely deservedly as we couldn't recover from going 2-0 down. But we swiftly returned to winning ways thanks to Hylen having a masterclass. He got the assist for the first goal before getting 2 goals himself in a 3-1 win over Mjøndalen. In the next game, our other winger turned up. Breistøl got both our goals in the 2-1 win over Start, before smashing Moss 4-1 as 3 of our 4 attackers got on the score sheet once again. But as everything seemed to be going our way, with the Sporting Jacks board even agreeing to improve the training facilities, the results in Norway stopped coming. We somehow lost to Skeid, who were predicted to be in the relegation battle, before also losing to Ålesund. We did get back to winning ways by beating Åsane though. Our 2 strikers got 1 each. Going back to the States, we did drop our first points of the season here as well, by drawing 1-1 with Tormenta. But an insane performance from Ruben Ramos, including 2 goals and 2 assists, made sure we won 6-3 over Fuego. And as he's been performing like that all season, Ramos has now been called up to the US Under-20 squad as a 16-year-old.
You want to go to sleep, you go ahead, go to sleep.
Redsic and Hurtado got 1 each as we beat Savannah Clovers, before somehow losing our 2-goal lead to Spokane. They scored 3 in the second half to give us our first L of the season. As we've now played 10 games in both Norway and the US, the South African season is finally starting. We've signed so many players that we moved from 8th to 3rd in the season preview. So I'm expecting to be fighting for the only playoff spot which we get in 1st. This is how the squad's looking as of now. We have Smith, Matloga, Teise, Present and Sigwabela at the back, Arense, Aisali, Williams and Niembe in the middle, and finally Chweu and Mkwangu up top. We started in insane fashion, as we scored 35 seconds in through Chweu. Then the man with the absolute best name in the squad, Rivaldo Present, scored to make it a 2-0 win on opening day. We kept that good start going, as we hammered both the Kappa Sporting and Oriented Birds 5-0, with Niembe getting 4 goals across the 2 games. We then ran all over our promotion rivals Antalyaspor JPM Cape Town for 70 minutes, scoring 4 goals in the process. But then they scored 3 in the next 20 minutes. We held on though, to win the most important game of the season. We then returned to winning big, as we smashed Young Pirates 5-1. As we return to Europe, we win 2-0 over Egersund in the 11th league game. Now we've got first tier side Viking in the cup after beating 4th tier side Sandviken 4-1. Viking took the lead in the 27th, but we equalized just 3 minutes later. A bar hit from them followed, before they scored at the death in the 90th to knock us out of the Norwegian Cup. Following that exit, we somehow lost 5-4 to Sogndal of all teams. Hellum did his best as he got a brace, but it wasn't even close to being enough. But Hellum kept going, as he got another brace against Hud, and this time it was enough, to make it a 4-1 win even. Guess what Hellum did against Ranheim in the next game? He got a brace. But that all came to an abrupt end against Lillestrøm, as he had to come off injured after 33 minutes. His teammates got the win for him though, as Solberg Nilsen and Silla got 1 each to make it a 2-0 win. That means we're in first at the halfway point. We lead Start by 2 points and Odd by 3, so it's really tight. We have also just lost our top scorer to a torn hamstring, so we'll see how it's gonna go from now on.
It's not looking good, Bev. It's not looking good.
Across the pond, things were going pretty well as well. We smashed Northern Colorado 4-1 in the 11th league game thanks to goals from Hurtado, Ramos ×2 and Redsich. We then got a 2-goal lead against Oakland Roots as Redsich got both, but as they got one back right before the break, they got their hope, so they equalized in the 59th. And as Granwald Scott pushed his man, they got a pen and a chance to put a nail in the coffin, but Walker saved it. So we draw 2-2. We got back to winning ways straight away though, as Ramos and Redsich got one each to beat NJ Teamsters 2-0. But a 1-1 draw with Michigan Stars brought us right back down to earth. Finally, the 15th league game ended with a 3-0 win over Rhode Island, which means we're in first here as well. We're tied on points with Colorado Springs, and we have two real standout players. Eric Hurtado with 11 goals, and Benny Redsich with 15 assists in as many games. As we return to the league, we draw 1-1 with Knoxville in a disappointing game, where we had almost 4 times their XG. We then return to winning ways with a 3-1 win over California Odyssey, before swiftly going back again to another 1-1 draw, this time against Maryland Bobcats.
So, you know, let's not take the piss here.
I certainly wasn't.
Well, I think you are.
Around this time, the Youth Intake preview came through, and it's actually brilliant. We have A's at CM and wingbacks, as well as C's at DM and AM. Before heading into the 4th round of the US Cup, we beat Carolina Core 3-1, thanks to a brace from Hurtado. To get to the 4th round, we beat FC Wisconsin 6-3, the ANSA Force 4-2, and 2nd tier side Orange County 2-1. Now we have MLS side DC United though, so it's gonna be tough, and it was. We lost 5-2. It's time to go back to Europe and Lyn, where we drew 0-0 with Kongsvinger. Great. Well, it didn't exactly get better. We got smacked 4-2 by Stabæk, somehow lost 2-1 to flipping Raufoss, and 3-2 to Odd as well to make the humiliation complete.
I'm gonna get that bastard!
We did get a win again though, by scraping past Mjøndalen with a 1-0 win. Now, the transfer window's just opened, and we've had some movement. The outgoings at Lyn was minimal. Hellum came into my office to tell me he was running down his contract. So when an offer of 325k came in for him, I said take him. So he went to Fredrikstad. Tollesen, on the other hand, got annoyed at not playing, so I sold him to Halifax Wanderers in the States. As for the ins, we signed Sigurdarsson on loan from Sandefjord, as well as 3 free transfers in the Brazilian legend Luis Adriano, Andre Senghor, and Englishman Nathan Ferguson at right back. At Sporting Jacks, we brought in youngster Luciano Pronk on a free, Michael Wang for 120k, which was a total miss, and finally Juan Pablo Rodriguez for free. He's a great centre-back with quite a lot of potential as well. As for the outgoings, we got rid of Calvin Resende as he wanted to play football, as well as moving Granwald Scott and Abbas Maiga on loan to Ubuntu Cape Town. Other than those two, we didn't sign anyone at Ubuntu. So let's return to South Africa. We hammered Métis FC 4-0 in the 6th game, before actually losing to Hout Bay United. I don't understand how we've done that, but it's happened. We then swiftly returned to winning ways with a 2-1 win against promotion rivals Glendon United. A goal each from our 2 strikers made sure we got the win. After 2 games with a bit less goals, we returned to our normal selves by smashing Junction Rovers 3-0, as well as Ikapa Sporting 4-2. In that game, our 2 loanees got on a score sheet on their debuts. Before the Youth Intake preview came in, we just about, but so deservedly, won 3-2 against Hanover Park. We had 5.95 XG. How did we only score 3? And the Youth Intake preview was just as disappointing, with 4 C's as the best ones.
It's winding me up. It's an absolute joke.
Now, let's return to Europe for the final 10 games in Norway. We start with an annoying 2-2 draw with Start. Sigurdarsson got 1 actual goal, but 2 offside goals. Our next game though, he scored again, and as Heelan got a brace, we won 3-2 against Moss. But we then somehow lost 2-0 to Shay. They even got a straight red in the 67th, and we couldn't get back. Another disappointing result followed, as we drew 1-1 with Ålesund. That was followed by a tight 1-0 win over Åsane before we absolutely crumbled against Egersund. We lost 4-0. A 2-0 win over Sogndal followed, as Ferguson got one from right back, before Breistøl got the second 2 minutes later. We then disappointingly drew 1-1 with Hødd. So now we're basically guaranteed to not get the automatic promotion spots. And to make it even worse, Hylen got injured 13 minutes in against Ranheim. But we got a pen 2 minutes later, which Breistøl scored. And then he got another right before the break, to make it a 2-0 win. And Kongsvinger lost their game against Skeid, so now we're only 1 point behind them in the promotion spots. But some bad news is that Hylen's injury is something serious, as he's out for 2 months with sprained knee ligaments. Now it's time for our final game of the season. Win and Kongsvinger drop points, and we're promoted. Drop points, and we have to play in the playoffs. We start brilliantly, with a goal from Sigurdarsson 12 minutes in. But before the break, they scored twice. Nothing happened until the 87th, as Lagsawi got pushed in their box to get us a pen. Luis Adriano steps up, the man who hasn't scored for the club yet. But he does here! So we draw 2-2 with Lillestrøm, and as Kongsvinger lost against Ålesund, we're promoted! We've somehow managed to sneak into the promotion spot. That's huge. As for Ubuntu in South Africa, we continued winning. We hammered Oriented Birds 5-1 with Chweu getting a brace, before once again beating our promotion rivals Antalyaspor JPM Cape Town, this time with a 4-2 win. Then we continued smashing teams, as we beat Young Pirates 5-0, Matis FC 6-2, and Hout Bay United 5-3. And as we won 3-2 against Glendon as well, we've got the top spot and the playoff spots. In the playoffs, we pulled a Germany in the quarters, as we won 7-1. 7-1! Both Nkwango and Williams got hat-tricks. In the semis, we once again won, but this time only 2-0. Nyembe got us the win single-handedly though, as he scored both, which included this incredible finish. And now we've got Super Eagles in the playoff final. Chweu got us the lead 33 minutes in, before we got a pen in the 41st, which Williams scored. Nyembe and then Maiga got our 2 next goals, before they got 2 goals of their own to make it 4-2. But nothing else happened, so we've been promoted in South Africa as well. Wow! Now it's time to move back over to the States for a run in there as well. We just about scrape a 1-0 win over Flower City Union in the 20th league game, before disappointingly drawing 3-3 with Chattanooga. But then we somehow lost to flipping Madison of all teams. A 2-1 scoreline meant we got our second loss of the season with Sporting Jacks. Thankfully, we just about won 3-2 over Lexington in the next game, as Benitez, Redzic and Hurtado got one each. Despite getting the good news that our training facilities have finished upgrading, we lost 3-2 to Gold Star FC. It's actually not that weird though, as our centre mid Benitez got a straight red 20 minutes in, so that's why. Against the second team named Chattanooga, we also drew. This time a 2-2 draw as Redzic and Hurtado got our goals. Some good news now though is that the youth intake is here, and it's brilliant. We have 3 elite talents in right winger Jonathan Torres, DM Kevin Rios and CM Billy Silva. They have some brilliant potential and will hopefully become some decent players eventually. Returning to the league, we somehow got smacked 4-0 by LA Force. But once again, it's because of a straight red for one of our midfielders. This time Gagan. In our next game though, the 27th league game, we beat Albion San Diego 2-1 thanks to an early brace from Ruben Ramos. For the final 2 games, we got 2 of our promotion rivals. Detroit City, the current 1st place, and Colorado Springs, the current 2nd place. Against Detroit City, we missed 2 big chances in the opening 10 minutes. Right before the break though, we put together a great passing move, which was finished off by Ramos. But in the 58th, they scored, which was actually Walker's own goal. And then 4 minutes later, they scored again, this time from a flipping backheel assist. But we hit back, and in some fashion. Ramos got his second tap in just under 10 minutes after their second goal. And then he got another to get his hat-trick and get us the lead. And as their defender handballed it, we got a pen to put a nail in the coffin and make it 4-2. So we win against Detroit City, which means if we win against Colorado Springs, we've got automatic promotion. Before said game, Ruben Ramos rightly claimed the Player of the Month for April, after scoring 5 in 2 games.
Maybe someone's don't like me because maybe I'm too good.
Against Colorado Springs, we got a pen 4 minutes in, which Redzic scored. That well and truly set the mood, as we doubled it through Ramos in the 49th. And made it 3 from the spot through Redzic once again. So we win 3-0 against Colorado Springs to get automatic promotion! We've got triple promotion in our first season. That is incredible. As for the standout players at each club, I have to give some major props to Redzic with all his assists, Hurtado with all his goals, and youngster Ruben Ramos for his incredible play all round. As for Ubuntu, Chueyu and Niembe were definitely up there, but as they're a bit on the old side, we probably won't be using them all that much in the years to come. And finally, as for Lyn, it was obviously Hellum before he left. But our 2 wingers did arguably even better, so props to Hylen and Breisdal. What a season for all 3 clubs! And now, as Lyn are at the top level and Sporting Jacks and Ubuntu are in tier 2, we can definitely up the game on a recruitment side as well, and hopefully start bringing in some serious youngsters.